right, so behind us is one of the more popular events. It's the Excavator Basketball event. So this is a timed event for the kids. We take a little bit, a few seconds, get them in the equipment, kind of get them oriented with how to run the controls, and they're trying to essentially get the basketball off of these cones and dumped into the barrels. So they're starting to learn just how sensitive and how slowly you have to be able to control these machines to be able to do the type of work that we've got to do. You can't just go in there and start ripping levers around. You really got to take time and be careful with what you're doing. So yeah, it's an exciting event. It's timed over a course of, I think, a minute 30 or 2 minutes. We're going to see how many basketballs they can get in the trash cans. So, all right. So what we've got going on here is our skid loader operator course. So in this area over here, we're kind of training the kids and getting them comfortable with the controls first, and then they come up to the starting line over here, and it's a timed event. So they're going to come down, get a bucket, raise it up to a certain height, and then dump it. And they'll go on to the next section and do a 360 with that skid loader, trying not to knock over any cones as they go through, and then end down here. We'll see how they do at the end of the day. So, well, this is showcasing some of our what we call dry utility work, and you're going to see that over the next few stations. But this is showcasing our linemen. We have the capability to hang telecommunications on poles, as well as do high power voltage work. And Chris there that you see in the climbing harness is just kind of showing the kids how you climb poles. We've also got a bucket truck over here working and giving the kids an opportunity with that insulated stick that you see there to actually pull and re-engage fuses. Obviously we don't have any high power hooked up here today, but shows them basically how you can do that remotely with the use of that tool. Just showcasing the versatility of Valley Corp and all the different things we do. Drilling event. What you got here is a directional drill. We install a lot of telecommunications lines, sewer, water, those types of things. This is what you call a trenchless type installation, so you're not disturbing the ground up above. So whenever you got to go underneath pavement or through people's yards, this is the type of equipment that you'll use. And typically we wouldn't have pipe installed in the ground. It would just be a rod going in. But we're showing the kids how you can use locators and actually steer this rod where you want it to go. In a few of these viewing ports, you can see we've mocked up some existing utilities, so you can see our rods going up underneath of those. It just shows there's a lot that goes into this type of stuff. And once your rods are shot all the way out, then we're actually hooking onto our conduit that will be pulled back through that hole. And this is a setup for conduit for fiber optics for telecommunications, essentially. All right, so this is our fiber splicing event, which is kind of the end of the previous two events. We had our aerial event and then our directional drilling, and that's a lot of the ways how we actually install fiber optics. And once you've installed those fiber optics either in the air or underneath the ground, you have to actually splice that together. So these different pedestals back here, most people see them along the highway all day, every day, and don't know what they are, but these are actual pedestal cases for fiber optics. And in these trailers, we have sensitive equipment where we can actually cut and splice that fiber together. So we're showing the students, what's involved with these pedestals, and actually how you splice that fiber inside of these trailers. And then we've got a kind of a cool light testing where we're shooting laser through the fiber optics from one trailer to the next, so they can see how that light travels down the fiber. Okay, so behind me we've got our concrete pouring and rebar tying and vertical wall forming station. So at the end of the day today, we're actually going to be pouring a slab here. The kids won't actually be involved with doing the pouring, but our guys are going to showcase, you know, what goes into pouring concrete. So everybody will kind of huddle around, be able to see what it takes to get that done and understand the process. So it's kind of exciting. Everybody gets to see the trucks come in and the mud go down and it start to happen. So, but prior to that, we've got kind of our setup over here where we're showcasing a vertical concrete wall forming that's used a lot of times in different manhole structures, dam structures. You know, this system is very similar to what you see when people pour foundations for houses too. So we're showcasing how those things go together, and then behind that we've got our rebar tying event, where the kids will actually get a chance to, you know, tie some rebar and see what it takes to tie that stuff together. There's some harnesses there as well, I think, that the guys will have the kids try on, because as you're working up these walls, our guys will actually be tied off to the rebar, working their way up with these harnesses, tying it kind of as they're going. So that just kind of shows some of the level of safety that goes into those sort of things. Okay, so behind us here is an example of what we would call a wet utility. So that would be a sanitary sewer, a storm sewer, or water main. This setup here actually is set up for sanitary sewer. So all the waste that comes out of our house, it's got to go through our sewer systems. And what we're going to show the kids is us setting this manhole down into a trench here. And we're going to show them how we actually put the sanitary sewer pipe in. But there's a lot more that goes into this than just digging a hole and putting some stuff in the ground. So they're starting to learn, like right over here, how to read grade, how we actually shoot and establish elevations on this type of stuff, because it's all got to have a specific flow to it to work. It's engineered and designed at a specific percentage of fall. And they're just, this is a station where they just get to kind of watch and listen, and don't really get to do much, but they do get to ask questions and learn more about the activity of putting in sewer. All right, so here we've got a virtual reality welding station. Matheson, one of our sponsors, has brought this out to where the kids can actually try virtually to do some welding, and they'll kind of get scored and see how that goes. So, and then from that, we've basically got our shop set up in here, and taking the kids through the shop, explaining to them, you know, everything that goes on to maintaining and servicing equipment, and those types of things. This isn't an actual event, but we wanted to kind of showcase some of those pieces of equipment that are involved with the type of work that we do. This is an important support piece of equipment for us. It's our fuel and lube truck, and we've got hundreds of pieces of equipment out there, and they've got to get fueled every day, and they've got to be greased and oiled, and oil changes, and we do a tremendous amount of oil changes out in the field with this truck. It's a very, very vital piece of equipment for us to keep our fleet maintained and operational. And what we got next here is one of our large earth-moving scrapers. It's a John Deere quad track with a couple of pans. So when you talk about moving mass excavation, 100,000 yards, 1 million cubic yards of dirt, it takes multiples of pieces of equipment like this to get that done. And it's just kind of a cool piece for the kids to see. And then last but not least, what you see over here is our Vac Truck. So what this truck does is it actually goes out, and when we're working on projects, a lot of times with our directional drilling and our telecommunications, or even with our sewer and water crews, we've got to find those underground utilities before we dig in or around them to make sure that we're not cutting gas, you know, natural gas lines or water mains or telecommunication lines, or even electrical lines. So we have to physically find those lines to try to keep our people safe. This is a very important tool for that. You know, it's what we call soft digging. We can actually vacuum down and find that utility and get some eyes on it to make sure that we're either going to go underneath of it or above it, or that it's not going to be in conflict with our construction. But another very, very important piece of equipment for us. So here is our office and shop walkthrough. We just went through the shop. This is the office, and we're bringing the students up through our reception area here, and then also upstairs to show them all the different behind the scenes things that need to happen to run a construction company. So Brenda here takes care of answering the phones, dispatching all of our trucks for our concrete crushing operations and running those types of things. And upstairs we have all of our back office support. So we've got accounting, we've got estimating and project management. We've also got safety. We've got a safety professional here as well. And also 3D, we've got computer 3D modeling that we've got to do for our jobs as well. And it's just really important for us to show these students that being in construction just doesn't mean that you're out in the field running a shovel. There's a lot of high-paying jobs in the office as well that's needed to support a construction company.